Right, okay, hi guys. So I'm actually uploading that video I've just made, what, less than 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, whatever how it was. Because like I said, just I'm in a bit of a restless mood. Um, uh, it's hard to explain, really. Been watching a few things on YouTube. A couple of things to do with Gary Newman, who I've been into since I was about 15, 14, 15, something like that. Been into Gary Newman for years. Always liked his music. Always felt quite, I don't know, can't think of a way of describing the connection I've always felt. I'm not saying there is a real connection there, I'm just saying, as a kid particularly, but even maybe now, even so, to some degree, just think there's similarities in some ways. And I'm not saying like I'm really, as talented or whatever, or this, that, and the other. I'm just mean similarities in terms of who he is as a person, kind of thing. Similarities. I'm not saying we're the same or anything like that. Just, do you know, like, you just, when you recognise the similarities in other people that you can identify with yourself, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Just seeing him being interviewed on a documentary thing, and I've seen him before in other things, and in the last couple of years since he's, do you know what I mean, compared to in his younger days, he's, I don't know what he was like when he was younger. I mean, you can only go by the persona that you see from the videos of the music and so forth, and whatever. As far as I'm aware, at least I've not come across that many videos, interviews, sorry, or even documentaries or whatever of him in his early days. You might see the odd interview on a news thing or something like that or whatever, but not an in-depth like documentary or whatever sort of thing, or being interviewed to any great extent. So I don't know. I mean, they say people change over time, and as you get older, you get more mature or whatever, or whatever. But like I said, anyway, the thing is that I find it very thought-provoking on a personal level, and it just makes me think about stuff and what have you. But it's not just that. I've been in this frame of mind for the last couple of days, sort of slightly detached. I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe you haven't. Maybe the videos, because I don't know. Sometimes, especially if I'm out and about, particularly, I think more so when I'm outside in a public space, that tend to be maybe I don't know. I shelve it, if you like, shelve my whatever else is troubling me or whatever else is going on, just put it to one side. Let's get on with the video, let's enjoy the day, especially if I've gone somewhere that I want to try and enjoy anyway. Like when I went to Crystal Palace or whatever, and I've been there before, and like I said, I've always enjoyed discovering and exploring new places anyway. But no, like I say, I just feel in quite a contemplative space. And like I say, I'm feeling slightly detached and what have you. So, and I don't know if that's come across in my videos, or especially the last couple since being indoors and what have you. I don't know if that's come across or not. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. And it's, because I don't know. It's funny because thing is that, like I say, I've enjoyed doing those last couple of videos, especially the one where I'm doing my tree thing, and what have you, and actually when I got on that little rant of mine and all, actually, because see, I am a passionate person as well. That's why I like Gent Yuga. I love the man's passion, I admire his passion. I love passionate people, really do. Really like passionate people, genuinely passionate and passionate about the right things and all. Yeah, am I being controversial again or whatever? I don't know. But yeah, I like people who are passionate, because it usually it usually fires my passion then as well, because I'm quite a passionate person, and yeah, so I quite enjoyed that little spiel I did when I was doing my little tree thing, and that hour, I've got a video now that's an hour long. Can't believe it, an hour long. I can't even remember how many views it's got now. Actually, I'm just curious, because normally, at least, I mean, I've been sort of watching YouTube and been a YouTuber since about oh, I don't know. Well, I've been in this flat 6 years. That was 2009. So, and I was definitely doing YouTube stuff, although not as often and not with this camera. So it's got to be at least 6 years, I think, give or take. So I've been doing YouTube since then, and I've probably been watching it longer than that, possibly. So I know that the general format, although it probably, and I'm sure it has changed over time, from what it was in its early days itself. But the thing is that like I say, from what I can see, generally, there's certain particular formats that seem to be much more successful, much more popular, if you like. I mean, again, there's as many varied reasons and as varied channels as there are people on this planet. Some channels will do ghost videos or something. Sorry, right chest in a minute. So some people will do a certain, like say, like ghost stuff, but more often than not, they're videos that other people have made that then they put and they do a top 10 or something or whatever it is. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. That's what some people do, and some will be really popular. You'll notice that like they're really really popular, and like they'll have like thousands of subscribers, and then you'll get some that virtually do the same thing, maybe not as well, maybe as well, but for whatever reason don't get as many. You know what I mean? So the thing is that it varies. It varies a lot. I'm sorry, I'm really great. I'm trying to speak to the camera. I've now got a load of flipping what's name, and that's all you need, isn't it? Me just clearing my throat every 5 minutes. Anyway, so yeah, getting back to what I was trying to say is that I think, and I could be wrong. I mean, I've not gone into any great depth on this. I've not studied it. I've not done a flipping survey. I've not, done an in-depth analysis on which channels got the most views compared to how the length of their videos and so forth and so on. So you see how this has taken me almost 10 minutes just to get round to one particular point. You see how I can go round the houses, and sometimes that's how I lose people. Sometimes that's how I lose people. They can't follow what I'm trying to say because I know what I'm trying to say because it's all up in here. Do you know what I mean? And like I was saying before, that sometimes my head can be like 20, 30 sentences ahead, sort of thing. So I know what I'm trying to say. It's just that because sometimes I want to be as clear as possible, maybe not succinct enough, but certainly try to be clear. That I feel I've got to explain every little nuance, every little avenue that I take myself down, every little flipping side street that I go down in terms of my train of thought. I feel I've got to explore it and tell everybody about it before I can retrace my steps and come back and get back to the flipping main street that we were trying to get down, Anyway, see, I'm doing it again. So I haven't gone into any great depth. in terms of studying this, but it strikes me that possibly shorter videos people would much rather, because like I'm going by my own sort of tastes and stuff as well. I mean, I will watch a video for an hour if, say, it's a film for a start off. Say if I want to watch a movie or something like that's on there or whatever. Maybe it's an hour and a half or something like that. Then great, yeah, fantastic. Get the popcorn out, put the light out. Let's watch a nice movie for an hour or whatever. Or even whatever's on there. And then there'll be other times when I don't want to linger on a channel for too long, because I want to just I'll see something that looks interesting. You know what I mean? The title or the screen shot will look interesting and intriguing. You think, oh, what's that? What's that about? You click on it, you look. If it piques your interest, then you think, oh yeah, I'll check this out. But then if you see it's like, I don't know, over 30 minutes long or something, depending on just how really interested you are in that subject, and unless it's a repeat or something else, or somebody's just rehashed something else, all depending on all of those factors, generally you don't want to watch something that's going to go on too long, and I guess you just get a sense of what feels right to you at the time, sort of thing, and so I don't know. I'm thinking, like, I've got a video on there that's an hour long, and is that then going to slow it down for people wanting to watch it? Because, like, see how long it is, and it's like, well, God, I'm not watching this for an hour. This looks like it's going to be boring. I'm not going to sit here for an hour. I haven't got an hour to sit and watch it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the other thing as well sometimes. I mean, people watch these videos all over the place. They don't necessarily sit in front of a computer screen. They could be on the bus, they could be going to work, they could be watching it on their iPad or their iPhone, whatever, blah blah blah. So people don't always necessarily have the time to watch like an hour-long video or 30-minute video or whatever. Sometimes they do, sometimes not. So yeah, I was just thinking, that video's an hour long, and didn't seem like that at the time. Actually, that's the thing, when you're doing something, and especially if you're enjoying what you're doing or whatever, sometimes the time will just whiz right past, and before you know it, an hour's gone or whatever. So anyway, like I said, I mean, initially when I sat down earlier on and I thought, I want to do another video, I want to talk about something, a particular subject, and now that I'm sat and doing it, it's like, mine's gone completely blank. I can't think of a flipping thing I want to talk about necessarily. And that's something else I've noticed about me. I find it a little bit difficult, believe it or not, to actually just starting to talk about a subject just cold. Sometimes I have to sort of like start waffling on about trivial nothing, and then something will occur to me, and then I'll think, oh God, yeah, let's talk about blah blah blah, and sometimes I'll just organically go on to that subject. You may have noticed. But I think sometimes it's a good idea. Sometimes if you're going to make a video, particularly if you want to talk about a particular subject, maybe you kind of like have an idea of what you're going to talk about to start off with, rather than just waffling on like I did. But anyway, I don't know, like I say, I'm feeling very distracted at the moment, and kind of detached, like I say. And I think, like I say, I think the thing is that I do like talking to the camera. I like trying to interact with the people that I've got on my channel. I've got 35 subscribers. That's the most I've ever had. And it's quite nice to think now that I've got a few people that might regularly watch. I've got at least 2 people that I know, or I'm fairly certain watch on a very quite a regular basis, because I get fairly regular comments from them. They don't comment on every single video, but it's fair enough, you know what I mean? But they do comment fairly regularly, so I assume from that they watch fairly regularly. And so I know that I've got a kind of fairly regular audience, if you want to put it that way. And so being mindful of that, like I say, I quite enjoy excuse me, sorry. I quite enjoy interacting and stuff and what have you. But like I say, at the moment I'm just feeling very, very detached and I don't know. But I just enjoy that. I really enjoy making videos now. I really do. Even if it's making a video just for the sake of making a video. I don't know. I mean, when I think about it, sometimes I think there's a million things. When I look around this room of mine, my living room, there's a million and one things. There's a million and one stories in this room. Actually, when I think about it, there's books on that shelf. I could tell you where they came from, who bought it for me, or whether I bought it myself. And there's usually a little story behind it somewhere. This room and the objects within it, I've got so many stories attached to them, and I guess that's the same for most people. Do you know what I mean? Most people will have stories attached to the things that they own. For whatever reason, maybe an interesting story, maybe not so interesting story, whatever, blah blah blah. But the thing is, like I say, there's countless objects within this room that I could end up doing a 20-minute, 30-minute video on very easily when I think about it. Because again, it's not just maybe the object or even the story that would be attached to that object sometimes, because then sometimes what can happen is I could start talking about that, and then, like, as you know, with me, we could go off on a completely different tangent that's connected to it at first, but then eventually kind of branches off and just does its own thing or whatever. I wonder sometimes how people manage to follow my train of thought. Must be really difficult for some people sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not as manic as I used to be. I used to be a lot more manic than I am now. And I still have my moments, like I say, I can sometimes still be very, very manic. And like I say, my head can go a million miles an hour. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'll be jumping from one thing to this, to that, to this, to this, all over the place. Do you know what I mean? And even I find it hard to follow myself sometimes. But like I say, that's not as much as it used to be. But yeah, God, I could be very, very manic at times, but nowhere near as bad as I used to be. Yeah. Very, very distracted at the moment. Right, I think I'm going to end the video because I really want to try and do something that's purposeful rather than me just waffling on. Because I am going to put this. In fact, I've actually now. It's kind of been in the back of my mind, and I've been kind of chewing it over a little bit and what's the name. But do you know what? I think even though I've not actually actively either spoken to you guys about it or even really thought about it in any great. Well, no, I've thought about it. It's just that I've not come to the conclusion within myself to say, right, this is definitively what we're going to do. But now I have, at this moment, right now, I've thought to myself, right, we'll make this in a concrete way that whatever videos I make from now on, even if they're rubbish, even if some will be edited and some will be unedited, and the edited ones maybe but just mainly just to try and make them a little bit more slicker, a little bit more, the pace move better and so forth. Try to make it a bit more interesting and stuff. But other videos will be very much like this, just completely raw, you know, as soon as I've finished doing this, stick the micro SD card straight into my printer over there, which is connected to the computer. That's how I do my uploading. And then once it's on my computer, then straight onto YouTube, which the other one is still uploading at the moment. I should be nearing done by now, surely. I mean, 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes. I can't remember how long that video is either. Well, it's not that long. It's nowhere near as long as this. Anyway, so yeah. So from now on, whatever videos I make, like this, just completely random waffling, and even if I think that, because like the one I've just put, or the one I'm putting up now, and maybe even the one before that, there's a few anyway, where I've kind of groaned after I've made it and gone like, oh god, that was a terrible video, that sounds really naff or whatever. But like I said, I'm trying to get to that philosophy of myself where I'm trying to say to myself, do you know what? Forget it. Completely forget. Stop worrying about perfection. Stop worrying about whether it sounds, looks good or whatever. I mean, yeah, sometimes obviously put some effort in. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, because there will be times when I want to do that. You know, like some of my little music-y video things that I've done and the other things and whatever. You know, there are going to be times when I want to, you know, make an effort and make a nice job of it, sort of thing. But there'll be times when I want to just do a flipping this, whatever this is, and just waffle on. Because like I said to you, I've come to the conclusion also that I think part of the reason why I'm doing a lot more of these videos just in the last few days particularly is because I'm feeling particularly lonely right now, and that's not to get people, you know, it just that's it, you know what I mean. I'm just feeling really lonely at the moment, and it's not easy. Do you know what I mean? I don't know about any other people out there. Some people might, you know, perhaps they quite enjoy their own company, and I do at times. I like being on my own. I've been on my own for most of my life, one way or another, anyway. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Like I say, I've just turned 50. Maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. You know, this year I've just turned 50, and I don't know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm getting to that age where you seriously start, you know, the sort of looking back at what has been and looking forward, that conscious gap between what in the past there, yeah, and then the future here is now getting more like, there's the past and there's your future. Do you know what I mean, sort of thing. So, you know, if you kind of get where I'm going with that, it's kind of like, you know, when I'm reflecting back and looking back and I'm thinking like, oh god, you know, hang on, all those things I wanted to do and maybe should have done, and you know, and all that sort of thing, and well, how much time have we got left? Do you know what I mean? I mean, best case scenario, I've got another, I don't know, 30 years, 30, maybe. But because I'm a smoker, because I'm overweight, because I don't exercise, I don't eat the right food, maybe we can knock another 10 off for that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I know, cheery, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? God, dear, oh dear. Oh man, I don't normally get morose, not like that. Well, sometimes I can, not. But generally I don't like being morose, because the thing is that there's enough crap in there as it is. Do you know what I mean? And enough negativity and mostly towards myself, but it can be towards the world as well, depending on what the world's doing at the time. But mostly directed towards myself, the negativity. So I've got enough crap in there as it is, like I say, to deal with a lot of the time. So without then, you know, falling into that, you know, that crap, and getting caught up in it. You know, so generally I don't like being morose. I really don't. So I didn't mean to go into a what's the name there. And I was like, oh my god, I'm getting depressed. Where's the flipping what's the name? Quick! Oh god! You know, I don't honestly. I don't like being like that because that'll just feed into my own depression and negativity and what have you. And there's enough of it in the world as it is. So generally, I want to keep things light and happy and positive generally, because that helps me then. Do you know what I mean? It helps me stay happy and positive and what have you. But yeah, it just seems to be one of those occasions where I don't know. I just felt the need to make a video to just talk about whatever, and this is it. So right, I am getting to the point where I definitely kissed the Blarney Stone somewhere. I don't. I'm not saying I did. I think I kissed. I've had a previous life somewhere, and I think I was an Irishman, and I think I lived in. Well, I'm not even sure what county the Blarney Stone's in actually, but whatever county the Blarney Stone's in, I think I lived there in a previous life, and I kissed that stone. I think I made love to that stone, to be quite honest, because you. Can't shut me up there. So, anyway, I think I have waffled on enough, and I'm actually getting really thirsty. Mind you, it's still quite hot in this house. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still quite warm. Right, I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea. I might see what else to watch on YouTube as well as upload this. If that one's taken as long as it has done, and it still isn't fully uploaded now because it's not showing up the top there. So, God knows how long this one's going to take. What time did I... Oh no, sorry. No, you see that? All the videos have melded into one here. I can't remember which video's which. I was just looking at the clock and it's now 1 o'clock. And I'm thinking, yeah, but didn't I just point it at the clock a minute ago? But no, that was the video before, wasn't it? Excuse me. Had some bolognese and pasta for my tea, and it's now starting to repeat on me. Right, enough of all that. Sorry, I really didn't need to know that. Right, okay. That's it. Cut. Oh God, I wish I... Do you know what I saw in the... Sorry, I know I'm doing it again. I know. Right, hang on. Because I've just remembered, there was a shop in Bromley South. It's one of these party shops, where they sell all like stuff for parties but in fact, if I was to go there at some point before the 31st, chances are it'd be full of Halloween stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be costumes and all that sort of thing, and party costumes and all that sort of... Anyway, so in that shop, they had, a few months back when I was last there, they had a plastic clapperboard. One of those clapperboards that like the movie people use? And it's got like stuff written on it, I don't know, Star Wars, scene 1, take 1, or whatever the heck it is, you know what I mean? So, and it's like a clapperboard. It's made out of plastic, but it's like proper clapperboard. And I was thinking of getting it. Do you know what I mean? Because I could just catch myself doing that. Cut or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it just made me think of that then. But yeah, I wish I'd bought it now, to be quite honest. But it was a little bit. Well, it wasn't that pricey, but I mean, like I said, funds over the last few months have been extremely tight, and I kind of thought to myself, this is a little bit of a frivolous... It would be a frivolous purchase, really. Bit of a whim, well, typical of me. Bit impulsive. It was about £7, something like that. It's made out of plastic, like I say, and it's not a full-size clapperboard either. Like the proper ones they get in. Can't remember. I'm not sure exactly how big the ones in the movies are, but it's quite. What's it? This thing was about that big or whatever. Do you know what I mean? No, actually, I was going to say about the size of that, but no, it's probably a bit, bigger than that. Yeah, no, it was definitely bigger than that. I don't know. Well, anyway, the thing is that, like I say, it was a plastic. It was a fairly solid thing, and it looked reasonable. Do you know what I mean? But £7, £8, whatever it was, it's a big chunk of money, really, considering when you haven't got a lot anyway. So anyway, again, waffling on about nothing. But in the end, obviously, I decided not to. But a part of me is kind of wishing I had, because like it'd be a great way of trying to finish a video or even start one or something. I don't know, just a bit of what's them. I always trying to think of things, like I said, to try and make something a bit interesting. Props and costumes and whatever makes a bit of fun and makes a different. Do you know what I mean? Do something different from the norm or whatever. Right. Okay. Definitely switching off. Catch you guys later. Bye for now.